No, uh, I was an associate broker,
Uh-huh,
and then I was diagnosed with head and neck cancer.
uh-huh.
And I went through 33 days of radiation and lots of chemo and ended up in the ICU. And I've been recovering from chronic fatigue for the last 2 years. It may last another 2 to 3 years. But I'm about ready to come back into real estate and with EXP.
Awesome. Welcome.
Well, thank you.
Welcome. What a thing to open up my Zoom to. Wow.
Well, and I'm in Portland, Maine.
Okay.
Oh, I
Nice
love
to
it
meet
there.
you.
When I lived in Virginia, I had 5 days off, I think. So my husband and I just drove as far north as we could in one day. We made it up just past Bangor. And then we just took our time going all the way down the coast for the other 4 days, stopping at, every world's largest fry pan or whatever it is that's over there. Great trip though. So I love it up in Maine. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah, so you got to Acadia?
Possibly. I'm not so good with remembering. My husband though remembers every name, every place, and every city layout. We can go anywhere and he knows exactly how to get to. It's just freakishly weird. I do not know how to leave my own subdivision here.
Oh, all right. All right. So maybe you got to the national park, maybe not. That's okay.
That's beautiful. So how'd you connect in, David? Like, who do you know who?
Well, I know Gary Wilson.
Oh, I love Gary. How long have you known Gary?
I've known Gary maybe 5-6 years, and ready to go pre-COVID, but then with COVID and cancer and all that,
Yeah.
I retired. I put my license on hold so I could recover, and so I'm looking to come back.
Mhm.
I was with Keller Williams,
Mhm.
but I'm looking to come back and work with investors because I've been working with investors off and on since the mid 1970s.
Wow.
And so that's the crowd I like to work with
Mhm.
because it's the numbers.
I love numbers.
Yeah, well,
Nellie knows this. I've been working with her a lot on let's know your numbers, know your numbers, know your numbers. I love numbers.
Yeah.
So, well, welcome. We're really grateful to have you.
well, thank you very much.
You are very, very welcome. So what we do is we start off, we meet Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. And we don't meet on Mondays because there's too many holidays and nobody's ever in a good mood anyway. So anyway, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. On Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, we follow the same basic format, which is just we start off with sharing a little bit of good news, and then we move into whoever has challenges, and then everybody pitches in to help with those challenges of whatever they may be. So never know what's going to pop up or what the challenges are. It's always really interesting. And then on Fridays, we do something a little bit different. Could be anything. We've done a really fast volley of objection handling to really digging into who we're as kids and what our passions were then and how that relates into real estate. It really could be anything. Never know, but it's always just a little bit different on Fridays. It's kind of fun. So, and the group is anywhere between, 4, I think is our smallest, all the way up to maybe 16, maybe I think is the largest. So it's a nice, tight, intimate group, and it's always a mix. Again, never know who could be on, could be anybody. So that's a little bit about how we're structured and what it is that we do. So to that end, let's start off with some good news because it's 8:35, which is realtor time for 8:30. So Kathy, would you like to go first?
Sure. I have, a while back, I reached out to several different people to join us.
Mhm.
And out of them, I think one person was able to attend
Mhm.
our that Wednesday night meeting. And I reached out to a couple of those people that weren't able to attend just recently. And one was Lucia.
Mhm.
And I knew that, because she's been on the call before and in our meetings, that they had just sold their house. So I knew things were going to get crazy for them. And I think this week they're supposed to be out of their house, but they can't get into their next house until, I think she said, 2 months.
Ooh,
Ooh, is it a new
And
build?
yeah, no, not a
Oh.
new build. It's actually, it's one of their investment properties. That must be when
Oh.
a tenant is due to be out and the reno done or something. I don't know if they need reno or not. But, and I know she's also traveling to see her family, I think in Colombia. So I told her, I'd asked about when she might want to get back together, because I know she still has questions. And she said, it's got to be after July. And another I've got a call scheduled with Gary for next Monday.
Perfect. Congrats.
Yeah.
Were you on the agent attraction meeting yesterday out of curiosity?
Yeah,
Me-
most of,
Oh,
Okay. Okay. All right. Just that's, I know that you're really good at that. And that agentattractiontraining.com. If you haven't signed up for that, that's really good. Okay, good. That's some really good stuff. All right. Bree. Good morning,
yes.
Sunshine. What's some good news?
One listing appointment turned into 2 listings and 1 buy.
Dang,
awesome.
that's a sucky day yesterday. Wow, congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. So how did that come about? Did you just, I mean, how did
It was
they?
a Facebook ad that Braden had set up, the link.
Mhm.
And so yesterday was Wednesday. So Tuesday is when he set it up. I got in touch with the person Tuesday afternoon, set the appointment for Wednesday. And after I toured the house and we talked about strategy and things like that, she gave me the phone number of her daughter. So then I talked to her daughter, and her daughter said she wants me to sell her house.
Mhm.
And I'm working on the second daughter, who has a $3 million home.
Nice. Very nice.
So, but both of the homes that I'm listing are going to be in the high fives, like 500-600s.
Uh-huh.
And then the mom is downsizing. And the daughter's not sure what she's going to do. So I may have a buy here, or I may have a referral to Colorado.
Gotcha. Way cool. Way cool. Congrats. Nellie, what's some good news you got up there?
Good news, I'm here. And I'm gonna be working with Braden. But we
Nice.
had to take care of some things before I could start. I had to make a decision and create my profile. I don't know. Well, I guess I'll talk to Bree later about. So
Cool.
yeah, I'm here. I'll move. Yeah.
Cool beans. David, what you got for good news, honey?
well, obviously I'm not in business right now, but I hope to get back in business within the next few months. We'll see how energy level goes. But
Gotcha.
when, you only have maybe energy for three hours a day, you can't be in business. But if the energy is starting to come back, so we'll see where it goes.
I love that. With your 3 hours a day, I don't know if you want to do this or not, or I don't even know if you care. If I only had 3 hours a day, I might lead generate a little bit and then just give the leads off to somebody else on the team and have them work them. Maybe I might not. I don't know what your health is, and I just barely met you. I certainly have never gone through what you went through at all. I did have COVID and it did wipe me out, and I understand the energy level and trying to get it back. It took a long time for me to get my energy back. I mean, I just would get really winded really easy for no reason,
Yeah, I have twin sons that both got COVID at the same time. Lucky them. Of course, they're twins, of course. And one, Mike, who has a big real estate business in Denver.
Oh, breather.
Art-
there's your lead.
Well, he manages most of Exxon's non-oil properties in the Western United States. He has about 250 employees.
Wow.
He works in Argentina and the West, North Dakota, Midland, Texas, and all those beautiful hotspots. But he's based in Denver because you don't want to be based in Midland and you don't want to be based in North Dakota.
And Denver's a hub, so it's perfect for him, for airline hub. Yeah.
Well, he's moving because of COVID in his lungs. Being at the Mile High City is not good for his health. So he's going to be moving to Sarasota. He has projects
like
there.
Sarasota.
He's building 2 hotels and 1 apartment building in Sarasota also. So he has offices all over the country. And
Well, yeah.
in Argentina.
Awesome. Well, welcome. Let me see.
Okay.
My good news is last night my husband and I went and looked at picking up a property that looks like it's going to be, well, we're looking for a rental for our daughter. So we're going to pick that, I think, if the numbers work out right. And we're just waiting for one piece of information left because in Florida, I do not know how much it costs to do foundation work. So if those numbers are right, we're going to grab it. The cool thing is that it's actually, we're putting a bid on, there's the property and then there's a parcel next to it. And so we're asking them to bundle them together and get both of them. And then we crunch the numbers to put a rental on that. And those numbers look really good also. So we'll get 2 rentals for the price of 1. And I'm like, all right, I like that. That works for me. And the numbers crunch out really well. It's in the middle of nowhere. And my only thing was like, does it have cell service? Because my daughter works for me and I'm like, she needs cell service. Cell service and internet. And as long as we got that, she can be in the middle of nowhere. It's fine. Anyway, so I'm really excited.
Where is it?
It's an hour and 20 minutes north-ish of me in the middle of Florida. I have the name of the town is Interlaken, I think.
Okay, yeah, all right.
How do y'all know Florida like this? Like, I mean, I know you're down here a lot, but
No, I'm not down there a lot anymore.
okay.
We lived in Bushnell when I last lived there.
Okay.
And it was nothing but orange groves at that time. And the last time I was down there, and I have been looking, I've been looking more up that way, even though I lean towards Sarasota because I love Sarasota. Or a little bit south. But I'm trying to be open. I don't like this center of it, even though that turns out to be the safest. There just tends to be more properties that way. And the last time I was up there, I know that that's one of the areas that I either looked at or went through. That's how Interlaken comes in.
Gotcha. Well, there's a good little barbecue joint not too far from there. We had dinner last night and went over the numbers. And if it works, I mean, if it works out, it works out and it's a good thing. So that's cool.
Right?
Yep. All right. So challenges, who's got what? What do you guys got?
It's hard to be good there for my daughter when she keeps bizarre hours and I have to get up in the morning.
We moved my mother-in-law in and she keeps very bizarre hours also. And they complain bitterly at night when I'm like, I cannot watch whatever it is y'all want to watch. I'm going to bed. And then that's it, because I have to actually get up. So anyway.
I'm going to have to leave because
Yep.
my son has just come in and I'm going to sit and chit chat with him.
Well,
So,
enjoy your coffee or whatever with your son.
right. So you all have a great day and I'll see you tomorrow.
You got it. Bye-bye, David.
Thanks for joining us.
Yep. All right, my small group, who's got challenges? It's a perfect little intimate group to really work on stuff.
My challenge is, I know what's happening. Yesterday I sat down a lot and just thought about what's going on with me. It's I'm having challenge because I think I might be dealing with something psychological. If I'm getting different things from different people, like you or Gary or the group, and I feel like I don't know which one to do, which one, I know you're saying block, but it's like, I, I can't just do too many of the studying of like studying and studying and studying. And, it's just, I can't keep up with my schedule. I don't know how to explain it.
Are
Oh,
you
no.
time blocking, Nellie?
I know time blocking, what I'm saying is everything I'm asked to do is studying and studying and studying. And it's just like, from every group, and I can't keep up. And when I come to go to the meeting, I'm like, I can't because I have to do this for this other group. It's just, I can't.
So
Is-
the question, um,
I
I'm gonna,
don't know how to time block. I don't know.
oh yeah, no, this is the question I'm gonna ask you. What is the one thing just in real estate? Because that seems like that's where because in the beginning, especially because you're pulled all over the place, you don't know what to do, and it's just everything, and it's everything, and I can't do everything, and you can't. There's no way. And everyone's always going to have 18 million silver bullets and ideas and cool things and all that, and they all work, but you can't do all of it, and nobody has enough money to do all of it, and it's crazy anyway, and you're only one human being, and you don't have 80 million minions around you, even though I desperately want them. So the question to ask is, in any given arena of your life, either in like your health or your finances or your relationships or whatever, the question to ask is, what is the one thing that if I did that one thing, everything else is either easier or no longer matters? So for instance, in relationship with my husband, after I really dug down into this one thing, I realized that my one thing was this. And what I mean by that, it was stop doing this when my husband was talking to me and do this. And if I did that, then he felt very, very loved and very listened to and appreciated, and nothing else, everything else was easier and nothing else really mattered. And that was a huge change, 10 years ago in our marriage, because I am constantly doing 18 million other things. And it's like, hang on. And no, he shouldn't have to hang on. He should actually be able to get this. So in real estate, what would be the one thing that if you could narrow it down and just did that one thing, the rest of all the clutter around here, which is bunches of it, especially when you're new, wouldn't matter, or would be way easier?
I struggle with that too, sometimes, yeah, only I throw in the mix of home life and personal and all that too, because it all pulls on, especially if you're just one person, and you don't have that support team.
I decided not to do agent attraction. It's like so many meetings, I decided to pick 1-2 meetings because it was just like, I can't just keep doing these meetings. It's kind of like long-winded, some of them,
Mhm.
and I said, okay, I'm gonna go in if it's interesting, if it's something because I need to focus on doing my profiles and bringing in agents and maybe scripts, just focus on that, just block out everything else, you know, because I was trying to learn everything. And I was like, oh my God, it's just too much. I feel like I'm in college with 10 classes, and I can't keep up with the final, that's what I felt like. I sat down, like, what is this feeling I'm feeling? So
I love that. Thank you for sharing all that too, because we all feel it. Bree, you're like, well, one, you accomplished a ton, but two, you're successful and you had to push through that, and not that long ago when you had to push through that. So what are some stuff that, I know you got some gold in there, and you're just quiet right now, and I know you got gold in there.
Well, I think it's good that you're recognizing, Nagme, that you need to, like hone in, like what Gina said, what is the one thing that if you did it every day would make the most difference in your business? So if agent attraction isn't part of your business plan right now, then good. Focus on what will help you with your business. And whether you write down your schedule for the day, make it balanced. So if studying all day is not your jam, only do it for 2 hours or an hour or 45 minutes, or do it 45 minutes, break it up for 15 minutes. And, like, what is your jam? And for me, I literally can block out 8 hours and just read and study. I love it. But that's not everybody. But the one thing I really do need to do that I have to do better at is making sure I lead generate and follow up. So that's not my jam, is not necessarily the follow up, but I have to, because that's where the money's going to be. You're great at that. So balance out what motivates you with what you need to do. Don't feel obligated that you have to follow somebody else's schedule, but do figure out what's primary to get you where you want in your business.
I really love that. You can't go to every, Kay, just to catch you up. Good morning, by the way. You look fabulous.
You look great, Kay.
I don't think she can hear us. Well, that's okay. Kay's amazing. We love Kay. Hello, sunshine. It's
Oh, she
okay.
can't hear us.
Anyway, there's no way you can attend every meeting. You can't do it. And I know, because I attend a bunch of them, and I can't attend everything, and nor do I even want to. I mean, you know what I mean? There's just some where I'm like, no, that doesn't interest me at all. I could care less. And Gary will just have to do fine without us. So you really got to hone and pick what it is. And usually brand new in real estate, it's make money. I mean, that's almost always what it is. The first need we need to do a Maslow's hierarchy for real estate, because the first need is almost always, I need to make money like yesterday. And so the one thing's going to be really, really centered around that. If I was going to hone you down to anything, I would hone you down to a simple one thing focus of 3 hours a day of lead generation, and then as much follow-up as you need. I'd block out an hour, but as much follow-up. If you're really good at that, that means you're probably a nurturer type, or there's hunters and farmers in real estate. Hunters are go kill it and drag it back to the cave. They're really good at the initial connection, the initial call. Farmers, and they suck at follow-up, and that's a skill they have to learn. Farmers are not that good at that initial phone call or that initial connection in. They don't like it. It's just not comfortable for them, and they have to learn that. They're very good at nurturing and watering and fertilizing and feeding and all that kind of stuff until they have this beautiful bloom. And it's just different forms of real estate. That's all it is, just different personality types. But I would hone you in on that. And if in wherever it is on your schedule, you can move it around to accommodate other things going on in your life or classes you want to hit or something. But if I was in overwhelm in the beginning, or in like, there's just so much, and there is, I would go through and pick very, very judiciously any classes, meetings, or anything that I wanted to take. And I would only take them if they pertain to that, because that's the first hurdle. And all the classes and stuff, they're going to go on forever. You're not going to miss anything. I mean, you just won't. They're going to have 8 million classes on, how to do whatever. And they're just going to keep on having them forever, all the classes on all the stuff. So I'd really hone in on anything lead generation. And that might be the only thing I go to.
These are great advices. I really appreciate all of them. Seriously. Because it's been giving me focus, and I feel like everything else is shutting off.
Yeah.
And Nellie, you already know the answer, because we talked yesterday, and when we talked, you told me about going with Braden. You'd made that decision that you were going to go in and focus on that. So you're focusing on, just like everybody else has said, you're focusing on what your one thing is right now, and it's balancing that lead gen and how you're going to do that. So you're going to do it with Braden through social media. And so you already got that piece solved. You know that. So you just got to do those prep things so that you can work through it with him for right now. And one of the things that's true, and I'm not good at, because I like to learn everything too, like it shows up over and over again. Last night's call with attraction, it showed up because Andre said to Gary how much he loved the fact that he would learn something and then immediately implement it. I'll learn things and I don't get it implemented because, like you, there's all of these things that I need and it's pulling me here, 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 here. And I take that knowledge and I go, okay, that's really good. And I try to put it together where it's going to fit, but it doesn't always right then. And a lot of times it doesn't get implemented.
I love that. You know, Kathy, when I heard him say that last night, the thing that struck me, because it lodged in my brain instantly. Matter of fact, I wrote down, well, somewhere on here, I wrote it down, wherever, but it's on here somewhere.
It's in the car.
Yeah, no kidding. Which, by the way, this clipboard goes with me in the car so that I can be writing things down. But what I loved about it is when he said he implemented it instantly, I was like, that's brilliant and it's true and it's good. And that's how you retain. You pick out one thing and you implement it instantly. We talked about video texting. He was video texting that thing like you do, Bree, where he was video texting a dozen of people. He only texted 12 people. And that's the thing that stuck in my brain, because when I look at implementing something, I'm like, all right, so I have to text 75,000 people and I got to do it today. And I can't feed that into my calendar because I don't have any room in my calendar until this day out here. And then I realized when he said that, just video text 12 people. How hard is that? And it's enough to get you over the hump and you muck through it. And then you know how to do a cool new thing. And then you instantly have a tool that's lodged in your brain that you know how to do, that you can build in where you can build in to in my calendar, which is always like, you know, packed and having to move stuff around to get, well, like Nellie, I was going to meet with Nellie this afternoon and I'm like, nope, we're meeting this morning. I got a procedure going or wherever it is when we're meeting. I just know we got moved. I got a procedure and I'm doing it and we're moving everything. So anyway, that's a side note and I probably
Well, I
just
hope
went off
that
into the
goes really
bushes.
well with surgery. I got concerned when I heard that.
Oh, it's no big deal, but thank you. They're putting these long needles in my back and then they're burning certain nerves. They've already done
But they
the
did
test.
that last.
That was a numbing agent to see if it was going to work. And if it works, it only lasts for a few days. So for a few days, I was Superman. It was awesome.
So it worked. So you're gonna go through with it.
So
Okay.
yeah, now I'm doing it. And they moved it up
I will
2 weeks.
do
And
it for my friends, yeah.
thank you. And it was gonna be, Bree, 2 days before I was gonna teach in Nashville.
Right.
Yeah, they're like, you're gonna be in pain for a week. And I'm like, all right, here we go. I'll teach in Nashville. I'll be in pain, you know, but now I can get it done and over with. So I'm looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it.
Oh, good.
Yep.
When
Are you
is
talking about-
Nashville again? I'm sorry,
Nashville's the 16th we're teaching, or is that what it is? Okay, yeah.
of this month?
Yep.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
excited to meet you in person.
Thank you. Me
Be
too.
in
actually.
person with people.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
love to come, but I think I need to find my tent before I can figure all that out. I'll be supportive.
I love it.
I try to implement things I learn right away, but it's just because I feel like I don't have other experiences. It kind of like I come to a pause. You know, that's
Right.
what happens with me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know what I wanted to say. In the beginning, Kathy and Bree, when you first started real estate, how often, because we had to go into the office for trainings, that's what trainings look like. You went into the office. How often were you guys in for trainings into the office on a weekly basis, would you say? Like 1 time, 2 times, 5 times, 0?
Probably about, oh, did I freeze?
Nope, you're fine.
Oh, probably. Well, before I became an agent, I took Bold.
Before you were an agent?
Before I was an agent,
You took
Wow.
what?
I took a class, like an intensive 8-week
Boot camp.
boot camp to see what the business of running a real estate to see what the business was, because I knew school would teach you the academics. I wanted to know what the day-to-day would be like.
I didn't know
So I
that.
took an 8-week class beforehand, and then I took it again.
That's very good. I wish people knew about that. That's really
Yeah, but it was like the it was like the NAEA, like
yeah.
the
That's
thing that the 90-day ramp up.
Mhm.
It was like that. So I'm very learning based. So that was my, you
That's
know,
what you did. That was your boot camp that you did. Kathy, how often were you in the office your first year, let's say? Ish?
Well, I started in part-time, so I wasn't in there very long, or very much. And I did as much as I could online. And so, yeah, I probably not, maybe once or twice, and that probably wasn't whole days. You know, it was
Gotcha. So
here
when
and
I,
there,
I'm sorry.
here and there, sorry.
That's okay. No, you're fine. I interrupted you. I walked on you. When I first started in real estate, Nellie, I was never in the dang office. And I was never in the office until I was a team leader. And they made me come in the office when they were doing something like Bold. It was actually called Sweat Hogs, Floyd Wickman Sweat Hogs. Is what it was. Yeah. And which is an old training program. And they made me come in the office because one of the top producers, and they're like, you're a leader here, blah, blah, blah. And I went in this stupid office every day for like 2 hours a day to do my stupid lead generation, and my numbers plummeted. And I did it because I committed into the office to help the other people, blah, 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 blah. And as soon as it was done, I was out of there again. I was like, this is not a good fit. Now, did I take classes? Yes. But I picked and chose really judiciously what classes, like, all right, and I would literally network and talk to the team leader and other people of, is this one going to be worth my while? Because if I went there and it wasn't, I mean, there's always a nugget that you're going to get out of everything. So it's not like I'm proud or know everything, because it's not true. It's just, it didn't line up with my business, and my business was go make money and go figure out lead generation. And if it had to do with something that I wasn't going to do, like for me, I wasn't a social media person. I mean, I had it and I know how, it worked, but I never lead generated that way or did it. But then I didn't really care about taking a class. I'm like, I don't care. If it was on how to go get a listing and how to service a listing and what to do with the listing, that's the direction I went. And the rest of it, I was like, blah, blah, if it pertained to my business. When I worked new construction, they did this thing one time where they took us around to all of the new construction on site. They took us to every phase of the construction and taught us, this is phase 1. We pour the foundation. It's got to set up. This is phase 2. We do framing, and then we do this and we do that. You can tell when the house is closed. That was great because that pertained to what I did. I did new construction and I needed to know that. But the rest of it, I don't get. I just don't. I can't. There's no way. You can never take all of it. There are 50 hours a week per state just in EXP. That does not count Gary's hours. It does not count NEAA's hours. It does not count us. It doesn't count anything. There's probably altogether, if you add in all that stuff, there's probably a good 70 hours minimum a week going on, maybe 75, maybe 100. I don't know. There's a lot. You can't do it. There's no way.
Yeah. And it's all important. Every last bit of it. It just depends on where you're at with what.
Okay, now I feel focused.
Very good. Yep. So line up with your business model at the time. You can always take classes later at any time you want to. Yep. Focus on making money with whatever direction you decide to go with it, and pour into that, and make sure that you hit your time of your lead generation, because truly nothing else matters in real estate. All the rest of it, lead generating will fix, period. Whose ever deal got ghosted, was talking about getting ghosted? You were talking about getting ghosted. Lead generation will fix that. Deal goes to hell in a handbasket, lead generation will fix it. Don't have enough money, lead generation will fix it. Don't know how to handle objections, lead generation will fix it. Don't know how to go do a buyer appointment, lead generation will fix it. It'll just fix it all. It really will. It's like the magic cure-all, just like this was in my marriage, which my marriage wasn't a mess at all. I really want my husband to feel loved. I really do. It's important to me.
That's the key to fixing things. When you
Yeah, it's
want,
one thing.
you do something.
Yeah, it's one thing. It's just one thing. Signing up to go to the gym, one thing for my health. And then all the rest of it will spin off of that. It's just one thing. All right. You guys are
Thank
amazing.
you. This was great. Thank
I
you.
want to share one tiny little thing. I don't know what time it is, but
You're fine.
okay. Nellie and I talked yesterday for a while. And because of that, and because I seem to be very good at avoiding what really needs to be done, I went back and did a little bit of research and on my name. And I know I've done it before, at least for my first name. And so Pure is what comes up for my first name. My middle name is Anne, and it derives back from Hannah. And that comes to Grace. And I looked at both my maiden name and my married name
Uh-huh.
and decided that my maiden name was really what's there. And it pertains to spirituality and communication
Mm.
with spiritually communicative type things.
It's like
I
an
went,
angel.
yeah. And I went, wow, I never really thought how when I was named, all of that really sort of fits together.
Hmm?
Mm.
Pure grace and spirituality, it's like, wow. So I want to share that
I love that. Names are
fun fact.
It makes you feel empowered, doesn't it? And it gives you, I was telling her our names have energy. Your words have energy. If you say positive things or negative thing, the
Yep.
names have the same thing, and so look
I
into it.
love that. Names mean something. They're really, really important.
Yeah.
And they do have energy and they have meaning, they have importance. And I love looking up names. I love what name means. That's why I have this great story where God like poured into me of what he wanted me to do with my life, and sitting right next to me is a dog named Sophia, which means wisdom, and they just mean something. I always joke with my mom because Gina is queen and Maria is sorrow from Mary Sorrow. And I'm like, I'm Queen of Sorrow, Mom. I'm like that country western song. What is that? My daughter's middle name though is Anne also, and I didn't realize it came from Hannah, and I'd forgotten that it means grace because her first name is Quick and Clever, Cassidy Ann, so Quick and Clever and Grace. I'm like, okay, that's nice. That's very nice.
Well, Queen of Sorrow, you know what it is? You probably like come and bring the healing to sorrow.
There
That's
we
what
go.
No, I'm serious. That's what I pick up from you. You want to make things better, move forward, whether, money helps in life, trust me. You all know.
Yeah.
When I was in Colorado, I think, we did this trip when I got my intestines twist up and almost died, and I had to take a bunch of weeks off of work, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and then we were in Colorado, and I found this little thing. This is cured on it. There we
Aw.
go. And this little, I don't know, they had this little thing.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that
Yeah.
cute? So they had they had a little dish of them and they were free. And I'm like,
Oh.
and I dug around and I found cured, and I've just hung on to this for forever because that's what Colorado did for me. It's near and dear to my heart.
Oh.
Aw.
It's a branch.
Ah, that's even better.
Well, it is. It's a piece of wood. It's a branch.
It's so good. That's so good. So this, guys, that I'm kind of going through, so I made this bowl, but anyway, this bowl is full of, minus my pills and minus my measurements when I want to buy things, but it's full of the
Can't tell.
things that lead generate. And then there's little tiny trinkets of all kinds of things in here, like my bold 5 bold thing, a puzzle piece of someone told me one time that I was they're like, you're a butterfly. It's a renewal. You bring renewal all the time. And there's just a million little tiny things that all mean
I have
something.
butterfly because I'm drawn to butterflies. That's funny.
Yeah, my daughter, when I went to visit her whole road is made up of pink quartz. The whole road. And she's
Oh,
like,
wow.
yeah, it's gorgeous. And she's like, Arkansas.
So we have a lot more in common than we thought. You should have one that I have rocks of like holy places I went to, and it got stuck on my shoes. I felt, and I put them in a thing. And the other day at the Baha'i conference, the youth were sending positive rocks with painting, love, unity, whatever. They just handed it, and I put them in there. Yeah.
Yep.
I love that. So there's 20 things that mean something in here. So when I lead generate, I will dump this whole entire thing out. This is what I did when I was doing regular real estate. I dumped this whole thing out, and every single time I've got a phone connection, one will go back in the bowl, and I know I'm done when my bowl is full. And I still use that to this day. If I need, like, it's that kind of day and I need that kind of, just dump it out, put the things back in there. Don't worry about it, because that's just but everything has meaning. And it's like, oh, that's a cool one. You're my butterfly call. All right, honey.
But it's a
You know?
great way of having it be part of your everyday life too.
Bingo. Yeah, bingo. So
I'm
anyway,
gonna be sad.
there you go, guys. All right. No, I don't take Valium for later today. Have to take 2 of these at noon. So at noon, I'm out. I'm out for the rest of the day because I've never taken 2 Valium before, but whatever, we're gonna go do this.
What's the millimeter on it? What's the milligram on it?
Something that when they told me last time to take it, they said take 1 or 2, and I took 1. And I'm like, I don't feel anything. And that's, so they're like, well, then you would take 2. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I can't see, and I'm kind of blind anyway. So
Yeah, it's there, but it's okay.
I wouldn't know either. I haven't taken those.
Because
I
need
have
to be.
5 mgs. So
Okay.
here's what I will tell you. Yeah, it's just 5. I don't know. Maybe 5 is a lot. I don't know. Anyway,
That's very low.
okay, so it's just 2 of them
wonder-
just to get you relaxed.
We're giving yeah.
So when I took them last time, I just took the 1, and then we had a little thing where they numbed me, and then we went out to lunch afterwards, and Greg got a margarita at some Mexican joint, and I had 1 sip. I had 2 sips, and I had a 3rd, and I was like, no. Like, no, I can feel that. Like, we're not gonna have, because I knew better than to go get a drink for lunch. I'm like, that's not gonna be good. But I can have a sip of your marg, it'll be fine. But apparently you can have 5 mgs, and 2 hours later you can have 2 sips of a margarita, and you're done. All right, y'all. This is kind of a cool coinkydink. I'll share this guys with you, and then we'll go. So I called this girl named Nikita. And the name stuck with me because it's such an unusual name, Knakita. I'm like, oh, who named you, mom? Blah, blah. Anyway, I called this girl named Nikita, and we just had a great chat in the state of Texas. And how many people are in Texas? I don't know, 20 billion. And then we bring on Neil onto the team. So brought Neil, who, by the way, is recovering from COVID, doing great now. And Neil, also in Texas, sweetheart of a guy. And he goes, and we just brought him on. And he called me up yesterday, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? COVID, blah, blah. And he goes, I'm doing really good. He goes, I was talking to my friend, and I want her to come on the team. And I told her she's got to do it. And I told her all about you. And then she goes, Gina with the GIA team. And he's like, yes. And she goes, oh yeah, I know her. I just talked to her yesterday. And he's like, how did you do that? I'm like, I have no idea. It's a big state, man.
Small world.
It's a small world. So I'm like, we'll put her in your line. That's all cool. And so I'm going to follow up with her. And I'm like, did you talk her into it? And he's like, I think I got her. And I'm like, all right, dude. But he's literally like, are you calling everybody in Texas? Well, I'm trying. I'm not there yet, but I am trying. So, all right, guys, have a fabulous day. I guess if I had to wrap up this meeting, I would say that focusing on our one thing, all of us, we all are like, there's so much coming at us all the time, and there is. So we focus in on our one thing. Names mean something, and there's no coincidences in the world. There just aren't. So have a great day, y'all.
Send you love.
Bye-bye.
Pray the procedure goes well.
Thank you. I'll be skipping later. I'll let you know.
All right. Bye-bye.